Welcome to Mad Cook's Poopin', the only video content brought to you while, I'm pooping on the toilet. So, let's get started. Jingle Bopper and Humper out there thinks that, he knows all there is to know about me. So, I just wanted to, trash talk him a little bit because he's a big idiot and no one should be afraid of him. Yeah, so let's get started, shall we? According to women, Soft J is the, creepiest person on earth. Yeah. His go-to pickup line is, "Hey, babe, I'd like to impregnate you and then eat the miscarriage." Pizza Scurvy, if he were to become an astronaut, he'd be the first person to be murdered by being shot out of an airlock. Yeah, eventually he would be the inspiration for an episode of Law & Order. Space! His show is just him sitting in front of a TV while pictures of his idiot fans roll up behind him. Yeah, my show is me in front of a TV, but at least, my Patreon wasn't pulled down because I violated the TOS. If Janky Penis Steak Nuts was food, he'd probably be Benefiber because, all he does is make shit. His comedy's so wooden that he killed every water, rocket, ground-type Pokemon in his audience. You talk a lot of shit, but it's kind of hard believing it coming from somebody who can't even afford stock in Enron right now. I heard you got a tattoo on your gut, upside down so you can always read it. In case you get anterior-grade amnesia like Leonard Shelby, it just says, "I'm a big piece of shit," so you never forget. The best part of playing Smash Bros. 64 for you is when you get some free kills off of player 4, because you got bored of being around you and instead decided to go upstairs and fuck your mom. HIV Jesus is a piece of shit and terrible human being. That's just the joke and the punchline. You're pretty safe from doxing, being the fact that your mom was so embarrassed by your birth she never bothered to get a birth certificate for you. Picking on more successful podcasts not working out for you? Yeah, maybe you should shoot a little higher. Maybe try doxing Donald Trump. I hear he's got a new address. 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest, Washington, D.C. 20500. I really like your Friday Night Hangout show. I especially like it when you cut to the big fat guy in a poorly lit room who just vapes all the time. I know all about things being poorly lit because I ran a spotlight one time, right, Jess? He's a really petite man. Yeah, he's got all the ladies are really jealous of his thigh gap, but I just remind him that he only has that because he's a dickless piece of shit. Jotunheim's parents are really rich. So rich, in fact, they managed to keep a miscarriage alive for 20 years. The biggest cringe versus cringe is probably trying to watch two of your episodes at the same time. What do Jesus and Jumbo Pango Samson's Patreons have in common? Well, they both died twice, but all their followers can fit on the short bus. The guy wears Puma brand clothing because he thinks that it's an acronym for possibly ugliest man alive. He's the kind of guy you give gift baskets of personal hygiene items in July, just in case you're going to be seeing him in August. Does the PS stand for piece of shit or pussy shithead? I'm not really sure which one fits better. He's got really sensitive nipples because of all the excess estrogen in his body. Be real careful when you give him hugs, folks. Django Petfed is the only person known to get an infection from having an ingrown penis. You gotta be hitting puberty any day now. I mean, right? Well, maybe after Half-Life 3 comes out. I tried to watch your show, but it was so boring instead I watched The Room 2 times. Your greatest accomplishment will be when your body's ground up into pig food. At least then you'll be contributing something to society. I bet you smell like a bowl of red wine vomit that's exploded in the microwave. Probably the nastiest thing that I can imagine is your shaved head. Just everybody take a moment and think about that for a second. You know what I mean. Jumper Cable's so dumb he tried to beat Mario Paint. I've been really enjoying your World War segments, although maybe next time think about channeling the Allies instead of channeling Germany marching into Russia midwinter. Yeah. Does it list as special skills on your resume? Really good at losing Patreon accounts and just being a shithead, alienating fans? Are those on there? This moron thinks he pulled a gotcha because he found out I have 2 Reddit accounts. Yeah, well, at least I don't have 15 Reddit accounts where I have long extended conversations hitting on myself. Yeah. A tease girl. Here's the thing about you, Jumbus. You have this bizarre notion that somehow you're going to be hated enough that you're going to be able to cash in. You go along, moseying around, knocking into people and rolling them into this katamari of people that want to strangle you and kick you in the balls until you're dead is somehow going to pay off real big in the future. You don't realize as you accumulate enemies, you also accumulate a bunch of independent minds that just seek your destruction. Yeah. So eventually all this is going to coalesce into a big ball of people that have more processing power, more creativity, and more free time than even you have. It seems really weird to me that someone that wants to make a stable business is going around causing these problems for himself. I mean, that's why most people in the entertainment industry, they try to make more friends than enemies. Yeah, this is day one stuff. The other problem with what you're doing is we're all trolls. We all know exactly what you're doing. We've all messed around with this kind of childlike fuckery, but you are trying to make like a career out of it. And so while we do it, we fuck with people on the internet. We do it as a hobby, and then we pay our bills with our real work. But you seem to think that you could take this sophomoric humor and just ride it on out. You ever noticed how, even teenage boys, they make what, 3 or 4 prank calls before they get bored with it and then move on to doing other stuff like trying to touch girls' boobs? Yeah. You're trying to take this finite amount of comedy that you get when you're 14 years old, you don't have anything better to do, and turn it into some kind of media empire. Doesn't make any fucking sense. Meanwhile, people playing Turbo FX 16 graphic video games with a shitty camera have a bigger YouTube reach than you. You seem to mistake that people's unwilling to mention you on their shows is fear, and that gives you power. But it's not fear. No one's afraid of you. And if anyone's afraid of you, stop being afraid of him right now. He has no power. You have no power. You have about as much power as a person driving on the highway who veers his car into the oncoming lane of traffic, and, you can create a lot of damage and havoc for everybody, but you're not really doing anything to better yourself or anybody else. You sent me a private message where you said you're really bragging about how your Patreon is slightly higher than mine, but here's the big difference. I've only had my Patreon for 4 months. Yeah, I only made my Patreon because people were saying, hey, I want a way to contribute to you and your comedy and what you're doing. So I created that. Yeah, my Patreon doesn't pay my bills. I got real jobs to pay my bills. So when I stop being mad cucks, when I take down my Patreon, yeah, it's not really going to change anything. That Patreon's paying for stuff. Paying for shit like stupid crowns or, a microphone like this so I can record videos and they don't sound like shit. So, you mewing piece of shit, come after me. Leak my personal info online. Harass me. Send me messages. Tell everybody what my alt accounts are. Oh. But here's the thing. Every time you attack somebody, you shoot yourself in the foot and they see gain. So, you know what? Maybe I can get enough money on Patreon that I can sit around, retire from my real job, just wear this stupid paper crown and this towel, just sit around shitting out jokes all day. Yeah, that would be great. You think I get tired of seeing you fail again and again and again, but I don't. Every fucking time it's funny. So in closing, go fuck yourself, and everybody else have a pleasant tomorrow. Until next time, I'm Mad Cucks.